So hello and welcome to Games Library Night 2019 and Goldsmiths Library. If you haven't been before, welcome. If you're from Goldsmiths, welcome as well. It's great to see some faces that I've met before. My name's Evie Reutimann. I'm the subject librarian that supports computing here. So I've been working with the computing department for the last few years to develop a games library collection. And this is a great night for us to celebrate that collaboration, the collection we have, and it's part of International Games Week, which is a global event that's happening across the world. There's loads of libraries participating, trying to bring communities together around the idea of games and playful activities to encourage communities to come together. So we've got a great night for you. I just wanted to start the event off by welcoming everyone, and I'm going to hand over to Alan now.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. I see a lot of familiar faces and some new one, which is really, really nice. Thank you so much. So Eva just started the event and has introduced a bit what this event is about. But I think that this evening would have not been possible without the help of many people. Eve being one of them, but also Fede, one of my colleagues, which has helped co-organize, co-running the events, and of course Pete, which without his help we wouldn't have any of the machines and the tables that we have here tonight. So if we can have a clap for all of three of them. Thank you so much. And of course, you know, it's not just those three people, well, four organized as well, you know. It's not just the four of us. There are many other people that have helped, including Phoenix and Sarah Wiseman that unfortunately couldn't be here, but helped not just tonight, but also the previous year with the previous version of the event. So it's really great. Now, I know this, you know, the event is called Games Library Night, and I think that we are in a library. It's fairly dark, but what about the games? I think that some of you have already seen a lot of the games we have tonight. It's a selection of some of the best works of the students here at Goldsmiths. And those games are done before, during and after students have been studying here. So it's a fairly good selection that shows how creative this space is. And I think you can really appreciate by seeing how diverse and inclusive some of these games really are. So I want to start by talking about Fuga VR, which is possibly one of the best games that we have tonight. It's a beautiful voxel game in which you can be a rainbow bird that changes color and shape. So like, what do you want more than that? And it's in VR, come on. So if you haven't had a chance to play that, please do. The game has been developed by Gormley, which is one of the PhD students here at Goldsmiths. He started this outside Goldsmiths, so unfortunately we can't take any credit for it, but we try, but we can. And Gorm is also one of the co-founder of the Global Game Jam. So it's a very big event, one of the largest game jams in the world. And Goldsmiths is running this year the Global Game Jam as well. So if you're looking for a place where you want to make games, that's a good opportunity. Is it January, right? Or
yes, last weekend of January.
Perfect. Last week of January, yeah. So if you want to make games in a weekend, please come to Goldsmiths. Last year it was the largest site in London, and we hope that this year it will be the same as well. Gorm has also been very active in the scene, so it's a pleasure and an honor to have him as a student. So speaking of the indie scene, we also have another special guest tonight, and Robin Baumgarten. It's an artist and a game developer based here in London, and he's showcasing Line Wobbler, which is one of his many wobbly thing that he's bringing and he's making. It's the long strips that you can see here. So I suggest everybody to play. It's the one that has a lot of like sparkly sounds and lights. Really, really nice. Robin, you know, a bit like Gorm, has been a pillar for the indie scene here in London. And I think that, you know, it's safe to say that without him, without his contribution, a lot of people would not be working in this industry, and I think that I include myself into that. So thank you so much, Robin, you know, for not just for being here, for bringing games, but also, you know, for all the support you've done to so many people. Thank you so much. So going back to Goldsmiths students, on the table there at the end, you have the work of Rachel Clancy, and we have 3 of her games. She has made many more games than that, but I think it was a pleasure to take some of her best one. Clancy is one of the most prolific students we have at Goldsmiths. She has made many other games, and I think that if you have a chance to talk with her, please do. She has many more stories to tell, and a lot of these things, it's quite unusual in a very beautiful way, so please have a go with that. We also have the weird creature of Evie Reutimann. She created an entire zoo of bizarre creatures, and those are only some of them. Unfortunately, they're quite fragile, so not all of them survive tonight. But if you have a chance to see one of her exhibitions, please do. She creates those very weird, very bizarre, very uncanny creatures to explore when cute is too cute. And I think that those leakers are definitely on that spot. And also, when I saw them for the first time, I was like, we have to have them for the exhibition. Without the leakers, we're not going to do it. I'm canceling without them, and thank God we have them. They're pretty much dead after a day of leaking, but still we have them. So back to more traditional games. Games. We have Centuries by Samantha Kalman, Mountain Rescue by Tom Fabry, and From Me to Me by Sir Johan. And you can play all of them on the wooden table there. In particular, I'm very fond of Mountain Rescue because Tom is one of my students, and he actually made Mountain Rescue as one of the assignments for one of my classes. And I think that, to be fair, I have to confess, I might have said to the students that they probably would have got a higher mark if the games included a cat and included 4. So, Tom is a good student. What can I say? So we also have a mobile section with Chroma Pose by Claire Kwong and Dino Delivery Service by Tesh Samuel. Tesh in particular was one of my students back when I worked at the London College of Communication, and it was really good to see how much his work has progressed in the past 3 years. So this is more or less a selection of the games we have tonight, and I hope that you will have some time to play them. Now, on top of the games, we also have 3 talks. One from Jupiter, and she's going to talk about Game Jam games that you might not have heard before. And knowing how much Goldsmiths care about the global Game Jam and Game Jam in general, I think that's a pretty suitable talk. We also have Alan, lovely name, by the way, which will discuss about pre-colonial Africa and how to research the style and architecture and use it in your game. Very interesting topic, especially given the lot of discussion about decolonizing the library that is happening now at Goldsmiths. And finally, we conclude with Anissa, and she wants to talk about her experience in supporting underrepresented groups, specifically women, in this industry. So again, a topic that is very actual, and I think it's something that I hope a lot of you will find very interesting. Now, I will let them talk and introduce themselves, probably the best way. I think that for tonight I've talked more than enough. But again, thank you so much for being here. And it's okay if we start in 5 minutes with the next talk? Thank you so much.